Hello and welcome to KG Tutorials. In this lesson, we discuss Euclidean geometry. Euclidean geometry is the mathematics which focuses in the method used by Euclid. So, in this lesson, we'll use mathematical truths to solve and prove mathematical statements. What are mathematical truths? Mathematical truths are made of definitions, axioms, and theorems. So, which means in this topic, you won't be able to answer any questions if you don't have a knowledge of theorems, maybe axioms, or definitions, mathematical definitions. So, for you to be able to learn and master this topic very well, you will need to know the theorems, axioms, and mathematical definitions. So, right now, in this topic today, we're going to focus on the line theorems. Now we'll begin with the straight lines. The first one, we have adjacent angles on a line are supplementary. What does the word supplementary mean? The word supplementary means adding up to 180 degrees. So it means every time when you see the word supplementary, you have to think of 180 degrees. Now suppose we have a line and another line that intersect that line. So this will mean angle Y plus angle X will be equals to 180 degrees. What is the reason for all this? The reason will be angles on a straight line. So this is the short reason that you can use when you are answering your questions in Euclidean geometry. You write down the statement, then next to the statement you have to write down the reason. So now in this case the statement is x plus y equals to 180 degrees, and the reason is angles on a straight line. So there you have a short reason that you can use, which is acceptable to use when answering your questions rather than to write down the whole statement. So the point of learning this theorem, it was only to know how to use this reason in questions. So number 2, we are going to deal with vertical opposite angles are equal. Suppose we have two lines intersecting each other. Now it means their opposite angles will be equal. For example, here we have B, which will be equals to Y. And we have other opposite angles in those lines. We have angle A, and we have angle X. So angle A will be equals to angle X. What is the reason for all this? Is the vertical opposite angles. So that is also another short and acceptable reason that you can use when you are answering your questions. So the main aim of learning this theorem is to know how to use that reason in answering your questions. Now number 3, we have angles around a point are equal to 360 degrees, which makes a revolution angle. Okay, so suppose we have a diagram like that. It means that angle A plus angle B plus angle C plus angle D, it's equals to 360 degrees. So that is the statement. Now what is the reason for this? We're going to have angles around a point, or you can use another reason angles in revolution. So those are the two short and acceptable reasons you can use when you are answering your questions. Now, number 4, we have angles on a right angle are complementary. Now we have a new word, complementary. Complementary means equals to 90 degrees. So when you see the word complementary, always think about 90 degrees. Okay? Now, it means if we have a diagram like that, x plus y will be equals to 90 degrees. What is the reason for that? The reason we have angles on right angle. Now that is a short and acceptable reason that you will have to use when you are answering your questions. So now, without these theorems and without axioms and definition, remember, you cannot answer any question in Euclidean geometry. So you want to make sure that you learn this and master them very well. Now, if you think I'm moving fast or too fast, all you need to do is to pause the video and make notes for yourself. Now let's continue. Now we are going to deal with parallel lines. Okay? So these only exist if we have parallel lines. For example, angle A right there is not equals to angle Y. But suppose if I have line AB which is parallel to line CD, now by this angle A will be equals to angle Y. What is the reason for this? Having corresponding angles. Now every time when you use this reason, you must make sure that you note or you write down there what? The parallel lines. So there we have line AB which is parallel to line CD. So that is the short and acceptable reason that you can use when you are answering your questions. Okay? So this one can be recognized by the F shape. You see the shaded F shape there. So since it can be recognized by F shape, you can note that we have another F shape on the left side. So it means that this angle right there is equals to that angle right there. Do you see it? What is the reason for that? Corresponding angles. Now we have co-interior angles of a parallel lines are supplementary. We spoke about the word supplementary. What does the word supplementary mean? It means they add up to 180 degrees. Okay? So now A plus X is not equals to 180 degrees, but it is equals to 180 degrees only if line AC is parallel to line BD. So since we have line AC which is parallel to line BD, then we can conclude and say angle X plus angle A, they are equals to 180 degrees. Then what is the reason for that? Is that we have co-interior angles. Now, when working with parallel lines, you want to do what? You want to write down and note down what? The parallel lines. So we have line AC which is parallel to line BD. Without that, we don't have co-interior angles. Co-interior angles only exist if we have parallel lines. And all these can be spelled out or noted by the U shape. U shape with opposite side of that U parallel to each other. Okay. Now we have the last one. Alternate angles of a parallel lines are equal. Okay. Now, since we don't have parallel lines, then it means x is not equals to a. But suppose AB is parallel to CD, then angle x is equals to angle A. Then what is the reason for all this? We have alternate angles. Then you wanna note the parallel lines. We have AB, which is parallel to CD. Now that is the short and acceptable reason that you can use when you are answering your questions. So alternate angles can be noted by the Z shape or the Z shape, or also by the N shape. Does not matter how your shape it's been placed, whether upside down or back and forth, but if you can see the N shape or the Z shape, then it means you having what? The alternate angles, but only and only if you have parallel lines. Without parallel lines, even if you can see the Z shape or the N shape, you don't have alternate angles. You only have alternate angles when you have parallel lines. So since this can be noted by the Z shape or the N shape, it means this angle right here is equal to that angle right there, because we are having another Z. Do you see it? Or the N? Okay, so all this will just make our Euclidean geometry to be fun. Thank you for watching. In the next lesson, we are going to discuss the properties of triangles. Have a nice and a blessed day.